Thinking of moving to Mexico? Here's why that might be the worst idea ever. So, you're sick of the United States. Too expensive. Too divided. Too many Karens. We get it. You've scrolled TikTok for 5 hours, and now you're convinced that moving to Mexico is the answer to all your problems. You picture sipping margaritas in a beach hammock, living like royalty for $800 a month, and finally escaping US politics, potholes, and healthcare bills the size of a Tesla. But hold up. Before you trade in your citizenship for a surfboard and some street tacos, you need to know the truth. Because living in Mexico isn't all sombreros and sunsets. It might just be the worst decision you ever make. Welcome to Why Mexico is Not a Good Country for Americans. Think before you pack your flip-flops. Let's dig into the spicy reality, with a side of facts and a whole lot of sarcasm. Reason 1. You're not escaping crime. You're running straight into it. So you think America is dangerous? Let's talk about Mexico, where certain regions are literally run by cartels, like it's a real-life episode of Narcos, Airbnb edition. In 2024 alone, Mexico recorded over 30,000 homicides. That's not a typo. That's a Tuesday. Yes, the tourist zones are usually safe, until they're not. There've been Americans caught in shootouts, kidnapped on the way to the beach, or, worst of all, served cold tacos. Okay, that last one's not a felony, but it should be. The US State Department regularly updates do not travel warnings for half of Mexico's states. And if the government that gave us TSA and DMV lines says it's risky, you know it's serious. You want safety. Mexico might not be your dreamland. It's more like a gamble where the chips are made of bulletproof glass. Reason 2, you don't speak Spanish. And no, Duolingo won't save you. Ah yes, the confident American expat with 3 Duolingo lessons and a dream. Sure, you can order a cerveza, ask for the baño, and tell people your name is Jeff. But that's not enough when your landlord texts you in full-blown slang, and your doctor explains your test results in rapid-fire Spanish. Spoiler: Tienes diabetes isn't a vacation phrase. And don't expect everyone to switch to English just because you're confused. This isn't Cancun. This is real life. And real life doesn't come with subtitles. If you can't handle DMV forms in English, imagine dealing with tax paperwork in a language where every verb has 32 tenses. Oh, and try yelling, "I'm an American," next time you're in trouble. That'll really smooth things over. Hint, it won't. Reason 3. Healthcare is cheap. Until you actually need it. Everyone loves to rave about how healthcare is so much cheaper in Mexico. Yes, it's affordable if you're getting a routine checkup or teeth whitening in a strip mall next to a taco stand. But when the real stuff hits, like surgery, chronic illness, or a car accident, you'll want more than a cheap consultation and a prayer. Mexico has excellent doctors, but only in private hospitals. And guess what? Private hospitals cost real money. Sure, you might pay $5 for antibiotics, but if you need a specialist, a CT scan, or an ambulance ride, suddenly you're crowdfunding your emergency on GoFundMe. From Mexico. And don't even think about relying on public hospitals. Unless you love 12-hour waits, no air conditioning, and being handed your own IV bag. Reason 4. Bureaucracy in Mexico. Makes the US look like Amazon Prime. Think the DMV is bad? Try getting a visa in Mexico, or registering your car, opening a bank account, or canceling your phone service. The red tape is so thick, it has its own Twitter account. Everything involves multiple copies of every document you've ever owned, random fees that change daily officials who disappear for 2-hour lunch breaks. And if you dare ask why your application is still under review after 6 months, prepare for a shrug and a warm "Bienvenido a Mexico." Some expats spend years trying to get legal residency. Meanwhile, you can't even get your Amazon package because the driver gave up and threw it in a bush. Reason 5. You're always a foreigner, and sometimes a target. Let's be honest, you will always be a gringo. You will always be seen as the American. And while that might earn you a few smiles, it can also paint a target on your back. Scams, price inflation, bribery, you name it. From gringo pricing at the market to sketchy police stops that somehow require a cash payment on the spot, your foreign face is a walking ATM to some folks. You might feel welcome, until you realize the local plumber just charged you 5 times more than your neighbor because, hey, he's got US money. And if you're thinking, I'll blend in, no, Chad. Your sandals, sunburn, and SPF 1000 gave you away before you even opened your mouth. Reason 6. Infrastructure? Let's just say, bring a flashlight. The roads? Potholes that could swallow a minivan. The sidewalks? Optional. The internet? Let's just say uploading a YouTube video from some parts of Mexico is like watching a sloth paint a wall. Power outages are common. Water systems vary wildly. And in many rural areas, your dream home might not have sewage, just a pipe that dumps into the jungle. Romantic, right? You'll quickly realize that the things you took for granted, trash pickup, reliable water pressure, functioning traffic lights, don't always exist. Welcome to off-grid living, whether you want it or not. Reason 7. You have fewer rights than you think. Here's a fun fact most expats learn too late. As a foreigner in Mexico, you have fewer legal protections. If your landlord scams you, good luck in court. If someone crashes into your car, hope your insurance is legit. If the police stop you, just to talk, your best move is to keep calm and speak slowly. You can't vote. You can't work without a specific visa. And if things go really south, you might get deported without so much as a phone call to your embassy. The US might have problems, but at least you have rights. In Mexico, you're a guest, and not always a welcome one. Reason 8. The climate isn't all beaches and breezes. Let's bust a myth. Not all of Mexico is a beach paradise. In fact, most of it is hot. Not cute summer vibes, hot. We're talking sweat in places you didn't know existed hot. Try 100 degrees Fahrenheit with 90% humidity and no central air. Your dream hacienda suddenly feels like a humidifier on fire. And when rainy season hits, prepare for floods, landslides, and mosquito bites that make your ankles look like bubble wrap. Yes, there are cooler regions, but good luck affording them after 10,000 TikTokers moved there to live their best digital nomad life. Reason 9. Inflation, corruption, and economic instability. Think you're escaping inflation by moving to Mexico? Think again. Prices in Mexico have skyrocketed in recent years, especially in areas where Americans move in droves. Locals get priced out, rent triples, and suddenly that $500 a month beachfront condo is $1,800 and still has mold. And let's not ignore corruption. From bribing officials to shady land deals to government scandals, Mexico's political system makes Florida look boring. If the peso tanks, you're affected. If a cartel war erupts nearby, you're affected. If your bank accidentally freezes your account because they don't like gringos, guess what? You're affected. Reason 10. You're romanticizing a country you barely understand. Here's the biggest truth bomb. Most Americans who move to Mexico aren't in love with Mexico. They're just mad at America. They imagine a utopia without taxes, traffic, or TikTok toxicity. But what they get is a complex, beautiful, chaotic country with its own challenges, ones that don't care about your passport or your privilege. Mexico isn't a budget-friendly copy of the US. It's its own beast, with history, culture, trauma, triumphs, and a lot of things that don't cater to you. And if you don't respect that, you're not escaping America. You're just importing your entitlement. So, should you never move to Mexico? But should you rethink it if your main reasons are cheap rent and great tacos? Absolutely. Mexico is beautiful. It's rich in culture. It's full of amazing people doing their best. But it's not a flawless paradise. And for many Americans, moving there is more about running away from problems than running towards solutions. Fixing your life isn't about changing your latitude. It's about changing your attitude. So before you pack your bags, ask yourself, do I want Mexico? Or do I just want a break from my Wi-Fi bill? Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe and drop a comment. Would you move to Mexico? Or would you rather deal with American chaos, at least with free refills? See you next video, amigos!